Hi there, today we're going to do a lesson on how to do a 3D optical illusion called wormies. This is what the finished product looks like. Pretty cool. Okay, what you're going to need to do this project is a piece of white paper, a Sharpie, and a bunch of colored pencils. Your choice of the color. Now this is a good lesson for anybody in middle school through high school. You can make this as easy or as difficult as you'd like. Our first step is that you're going to, on your piece of paper, use your Sharpie and draw a wavy line, just like this. Pretty simple. Our next step is we are going to make some dots along our wavy line here. And this is just to use as some spacers for our tubies or our 3D optical illusion. Okay, so now we've got our space done. Now is the time where we go to draw. Okay, so the first step for each of these is we're going to create a little football shape going from dot to dot. Just like so. Okay, so now it kind of looks like a bunch of footballs all strung together. To make this into our optical illusion, now we have to use some strategic thinking, some design elements of, going further away and closer up using perspective. We have to do some management of the space. So our next step is this actual turning this football into our tubie or our worm. So to do that, you are simply going to start following as however you want that same shape, and you can get smaller. And if it goes smaller, just like this, it's going to look like it's going towards the background, and then you can get bigger again. And now I'm going to finish going off the page. So that one looks like it's getting smaller and bigger. On the bottom here, I'm going to continue with this one. And all I'm doing is kind of using this crescent shape going from the last line to the next line. And I'm getting bigger here, and I'm going to start getting smaller. By choice, I don't have to do that. Okay, and I'm going to drag that all the way to the edge of the page. So I now have one worm to be done, and you can see it looks like it's getting smaller and bigger. Okay, and now I'm going to show you another one next to it. I'm just going to go with this one, and it does not have to touch the other worm or tubie. It can be its own worm or tube. And so you see now I have this space left over. And what I like to do is I like to create a new tubie or worm in that space so that it's kind of behind the others. And next, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to get really big here. And then I'm going to continue this. Oh, and it looks like I'm going to run into that, but that's no problem. I'm going to go behind and use overlapping and perspective to help show that. And now I'm left with another little space. So I'm going to go the opposite direction here. I'm going to create my own little tubie in there to fill up the space. Okay, and so now I've got, some of it done, I'm going to show you one more. And this is my big one here. He's gigantic. And it's okay if you mess up a little because you're not going to notice any of those mess ups. It's a very forgiving project. And I'm just going to curve that over like that. And finish this one off. Okay, so I've got, a lot of it drawn here, and I'm going to step over and show you one that is now finished being drawn. Okay, so I did the exact same thing here. This is not the exact same one, and I'm going to actually take that one that I showed you here, and I kind of, if you look, I had to be strategic here in this corner and fit some into the space, but I'm going to bring in a copy of that is finished here, and here it is side by side. And so if you want to look at what I've done here, basically you have a couple of options, and I'm going to show you how to color that. And how to strategically do this so that it looks 3D. All right, so I'm going to start with this one here. This is matching this one here, so I'm going to do that one. And so the two colors I need are red and purple. So I've got my red here, regular red, and I've got my purple, regular old purple colored pencil. And so I'm going to take this and I'm going to practice some of my shading techniques. So I'm going to alternate. So I'm going to start in the corner and I'm going to shade from dark to light, doing a nice job trying to use my blending skills. And there are two ways you could do this. You could go, from side to side or top to bottom. Either way, as long as you're blending your colors, really works well. Okay, so you can see how that one is now shaded. Okay, I'm going to alternate. So I'm just going to quickly go through this. Okay, and I'm going to do this to a bunch of them, and I'm going to go quick so that it doesn't take too long. This is not a quick assignment. I did my example. It took me several hours to do it. So being that I have done this before and I knew what I was doing, it should probably take a student several hours to do this. If it were in my classroom, I would probably have 3 to 5 classes for this, just because of time. We always do a bell ringer. We always, start our lesson, end our lesson, have to put away supplies, that kind of thing. So, it should probably take at least an hour to 2, possibly even 3, to do this at home. Or just work on it for 15 minutes at a time. That would work too. And, do it over a whole week. That would work. So I've actually posted this on my website for my students to do. Okay, so now it kind of looks like a candy cane. Hope you can see that pretty well. I'll show this a little bit closer here. Now, if we look at the example that I'm going from, the second color was purple, and so I'm going to do the exact same thing. And if you notice, all of the white spots, so it faded from red to white, and that's called a highlight or a reflection. I'm going to try to keep the highlight or reflection in the purple in the general same area as I did on the red. So I'm just going to start here in the middle, okay, with my purple. And I'm just going to, do my shading here. See, I'm trying to keep it in the same general area as I did with the red. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to quickly go through this, the rest of these, going from dark to light, darkest on the edges. And what this does is it gives the optical illusion of being round and having a light reflected off of it. So 2 in 1. And you see that little wormy there didn't go all the way back, so you have to kind of get creative there. Alright, so I'm halfway finished with that one. I'm going to finish this little wormy guy up. And, you know, he looks really cool. I'm not going to show you all of these, but I am going to show you a few of my favorite little wormies on this project. And you can, you know, use that. Okay. Oh, 3 more. Forgot about those. The top here. It's easy to do. Alright, so now my wormy is complete. And if you look, you know, I just did the exact same thing I did there. Okay. I'm going to show you maybe this one here, this yellow and orange and green one. It's fairly easy to do. So that's this little skinny one that was behind here. Okay. And 3 colors I need for that are orange. I used a yellow green here. And then I used a regular yellow. 3 colors. So first step is to do exactly what I have done here on the red and the purple. Let me get a little closer here. I'm going to, and again we're working here. First I'm just shading this orange because I wanted to show a little depth there. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to show you this one because it's a really cool technique I show my students, you know, using color blending. So orange is analogous to yellow, which means it's next to it on the color wheel. It goes red, red, orange, orange, yellow, orange, and then yellow. And then it goes yellow, green, green, blue, green, and so forth. So they're analogous. They're next to each other, and they're related. Because to make orange, you need red and yellow. Okay, so I did all of the orange stripes there. Now I'm done with orange. I'm going to go back with the yellow green, and I'm going to do the same thing with yellow green. And this trick works because, like I said, these colors are analogous, and this is yellow-green, so it definitely has a lot of yellow in it. Less blue than yellow. And it's analogous to yellow on the color wheel. Using our art vocabulary there. Okay, so now I finished my shading. The last step is I'm going to take this yellow, and because yellow is transparent, I'm going to color on top of all of this with the yellow, creating the illusion that the highlight or reflection is yellow. So I'm going to just create some friction here. Friction creates heat, and heat melts the wax and makes the colors look bolder and richer. Here we go. Alright, so you can see I went, and we can look here. Oh, it doesn't match anymore, so I'm going to go over the entire thing, creating friction, melting these colors together, and they blend together so nicely because they are analogous and because yellow is a transparent color. Alright, so here we go. Look how nice and bright that looks, and it's exactly the same as what I did on my original. I'm going to show you a few more. You could take this and put it together. I'm going to do this top corner here, this little Matterhorn here, and if you see on my finished one, it's really cool. So I'm going to get my black colored pencil, and it's one of my favorite ones. So I'm going to shade with my black color pencil here. Oop, I'm sorry, I keep messing that up. And alternating. So this is kind of like our red and purple. It's just a shading using one color and leaving the middle white because, of course, you know, black fading into white, classic. Okay, so I'm done with my black here. And my next one, I'm going to reuse yellow again, and I'm going to take a turquoise color. I love this color. This is actually called aqua green. It's just a Crayola color. And I'm going to shade now. Some of you might say, oh, I like these two colors together. I really like these two colors together too, but I just wanted to show you that you can mix the techniques here. Okay, so oh, I like that, yes, but you could also go back now with the yellow on top of that turquoise color and really just make it pop. So now I've combined two of those techniques. Now I've got this really nice rich, the yellow blending all the way from yellow into turquoise, and then the white just fading into black. So I've kind of taken this technique and blended them together. Okay, our final technique I'm going to show you is where you do two of the blendings, but they're two different colors. Okay, so I'm going to use a purple. Let's see, where's my purple? Here it is. Here's my purple, Crayola purple. I'm going to use a pink. All right, I'm going to use a brown, and I'm going to use my yellow again. This time I'm going to use like a golden kind of yellow. Let's see where it is. Here it is, just yellow. Okay, so I'm going to start here, and just to show you where we are here on my finished one, it's this kind of like, looks like a LSU worm. Okay, now if we look, you know, I've done a lot of the ones that just fade to white. I've kind of mixed them up. Like this one I did green and white, and this one I did red and peach. Here I did a 3 pattern. I did blue, I did turquoise, and I did magenta, and just left the middle white. So you can mix it up and help them really stand out. Okay, so to do this really cool LSU one, it kind of also reminds me of the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland a little bit. So I'm not going to do the whole thing, but because it just takes a really long time. So you do your first shading with your purple. Okay. And I'm doing my reflection here. Making sure it's nice and rich in color. And I'll do a few of these. So I'm just alternating. It really turns out nice. It's okay if you leave some lines because it helps kind of make it look curved after all. All right. Okay, so I'm doing 4 here. Okay, and my second color is pink. So I'm going to color on top of pink. Now, why would I choose pink? Well, because red and purple are analogous. All right, they're next to each other on the color wheel, and pink is a tint of red. So I know that they're related. I know that they're analogous on the color wheel. And I'm just coloring on top of it, creating that friction, blending that color together, heating up the wax that's in the color pencil. Okay, so here we go. Almost done with that. All right. So now I've gone, you know, from purple and white to purple and pink. And now the second step in between, I'm using brown and yellow. So brown, gonna shade first. Now there are many ways you can make brown. One of the easiest ways is adding all three primary colors together, or orange with a little touch of black in it. And so orange and yellow are analogous colors in the color wheel again. And so brown is a shade of orange. It's a darker shade. And so I'm going to take this yellow and go on top of my brown. It's going to blend it together because I'm creating friction. And so it kind of gives the illusion here of purple and gold. I don't know if you can see that. So this is a really long one, but you can see here's my finished copy. Okay, and if I continue all the way through there, it would go all the way into that one. Well, I hope you've really enjoyed this, and I'm sure there's a million ways you could color this. You know, there's 200 colors in some of your color pencil collections, and you could just do this anyway, and every single time you do it, it's going to turn out completely different and create your own unique piece of artwork. I really hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and I can't wait to see when you post your wormy or 3D optical illusion finished projects, and have a great day.